Let me say this about Harden. I'm not even talking, well, in this playoff series, he did well. He needs to come through under pressure. Like, you know who else I had questions about? Steph Curry.
Good.
And then this season, this last finals, when his team needed him most, which I hadn't seen yet from him, in the finals, he was killing them from three. He was hitting those big shots, not just taking them, hitting them. And I saw from Steph, for the first time in his career, when his team needed him the most on the biggest stage, him be the best version of himself. We have not seen that from James Harden, period. Like when he was bringing the ball up the floor and the game was on the line and they're at Golden State and they have a chance to steal one, I'm sitting there going, dribbles it off his foot. Then he takes the three, but he's not even looking to hit it. He wants to jump under Draymond Green's legs, looking for the refs to bail him out. I think he has it in him to be a champion, but he's got to do it when it matters most.
Yeah, you're reading the title correctly, and I mean what I said. But before I get into the video, I just got an email from YouTube, and let me just read this off. Okay, so they're saying for every like that I get on this video, a fat kid loses 10 pounds. So, you know, make sure to like and subscribe if you want that kid to lose weight. I'm just reading the message. I don't make up the rules. You know, that's up to YouTube. But whatever, let's just get into it. So, James Harden, he's never going to win a championship. I think his best chance was 2018, but unfortunately, Chris Paul's fucking hamstring had to go out. But that is a topic for another day. Do I still have nightmares about that? Absolutely. Will I for the rest of my life? Probably. But whatever. Can't help it. Okay, I wrote a list. And it's a long one. So let's get through it because I don't want another 20-minute video. Unless you guys like the longer videos, let me know. Number 1. And these are in no particular order. This is just pretty much off the top. He doesn't want to play off the ball. So I remember in the Rockets with the Chris Paul, James Harden experiment, it really went south the second year because James Harden was pouting even more about coming off the ball and not having the ball in his hands every single play. So every time Chris Paul would, run the offense, James Harden would be on the other side of the fucking court pouting and bitching because he didn't have the ball in his hands. And then Chris Paul would be playing 4-on-5. To me, call me crazy, that's not somebody who wants to win. And I'm even talking about in the playoffs too. I'm not even talking about just regular season. And it's not because he's so fucking tired. And it's not because he just does everything. That's a mental thing. That's I'm going to pout because I'm not getting my way. I'm a little ass kid type thing. And to me, if you're going to do that, you're just not a winner. You're a brat. Number 2, defense. Do I even need to say anything? I mean, I feel like there's 1.5 billion compilations of James Harden just not trying to play defense at all. Like, not even trying to look like he's trying. I feel like he's gotten a little bit better over the years, but in that OKC Rockets playoff series, at the end of Game 6, Chris Paul was ISOing for James Harden, and he was just blowing right past him, and he still wasn't trying. And this is at the end of the game, when it's close in the fourth, and you're not even trying to guard a fucking 35-year-old 6-foot point guard. It's like, you're soft. So, yeah, that's second reason. Number 3, he's passive-aggressive. I feel like every single fucking teammate, except for Russ, maybe, he's said something or done some weak, soft shit. I remember in that, what was the Rockets coach's name? I don't know, I can't think of his name, but he used to be on the Celtics. He's like a legend. I can't fucking think of his name. He's like 12 feet tall. But I remember, like, that locker room, like, that year of the Rockets, it was the year that the Clippers blew that 3-1 lead. That Rockets had a really toxic locker room, and it was because of James Harden. I remember that. Fact check me if you want, but I just feel like he's always doing some weak, like, pussy shit. Every year I hear something from him. That's why people are like, if he goes to the Nets, it's not going to go well, because those 3 kind of personalities I don't think are going to mesh well at all. I think 2 is enough. Poor shot selection. Number 4. Do I need to? I mean, I get that he invented the step back three and all that, but let me explain this more, because if you're making it, it's not a bad shot, as crazy as it looks and how different as it is. Because honestly, now it's pretty common. So, again, all my logic for these first two videos, at least, are all playoff based. The regular season is a different thing, but if we're in the playoffs, things are different. And James Harden, his whole game, in my opinion, is pretty much based on step back threes and making it look like he's getting fouled. And that shit usually doesn't fly in the playoffs, and he refuses to accept that. In the big moments, as our friend Max said, he's more concerned with trying to make it look like he's getting fouled than actually making the shot. And to me, if you do that, you're soft and you're a loser. This is sports. Make the fucking shot. That's the goal. The goal isn't to make it look like you did some that's bullshit. Chris Paul does that sometimes too, and it pisses me off. It's like, dude, don't be so obsessed with what the refs are going to think happened and try to actually win the game. Don't be so weak. And number 5, Mike D'Antoni. Oh my. I honestly think Mike D'Antoni kind of ruined James Harden's career a little bit. Is that the title of this video? Wow. So before Mike D'Antoni came along, James Harden was nowhere near as hyped as he is now. His numbers were probably like in the 20s, like high 20s, definitely not averaging like 36 points a game. His usage rate wasn't as high. He still had some of that weak attitude shit, but he wasn't as like demonstratively cocky as he is now, or at least like bitchy. Maybe cocky isn't even the right word. Like, I think he's just like whiny and like bitchy and just like, ugh. If I had to hang around him, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, dude, can you relax? But this is my thing. Mike D'Antoni and the Rockets kissed his ass and made him feel like he's God's gift, and that anything he says goes, and we're not going to make adjustments as far as him, but everybody else has to figure it out. Like, oh, Chris Paul, you have to do this, or who else is good? Dwight, actually no, because Dwight wasn't there. Who else did they kind of dick around? Or Eric Gordon, no, you can't do this. Or fucking Capella, gotta get rid of him. It's always somebody else's fault. But there were never any adjustments made. Like, James Harden was never the one who had to sacrifice anything, is my point. And when you just like kiss a player's ass like that, it's not going to be good for them, because now I think James Harden is at the point where he can't be the number 2 or even like a number 1 on any team. Like, he can't be a Dwayne Wade to a LeBron. I don't think he can do that. I don't know if he'll ever be able to do that, because in his head he thinks he's the shit. When it's like, really, I think you're honestly a number 2 on a championship team. I don't think you're a number 1. But now, because he has all this bullshit in his head, he thinks he has to be the guy. When, like, I think some people are just built like that, and I think others aren't. And I think you have to know who you are. And I feel like I hate this whole alpha beta shit. I think it's a little overdrawn and kind of cheesy, but honestly, the best way to describe it is, like, I feel like James is a beta who's like trying to show that he's an alpha by doing all this shit. And it's like, dude, just, be who you are. Be that second guy. You'll probably be a lot happier. And that leads me to my next point. Why do I say he's not that quote-unquote alpha? The big moments. Again, like Max said, and I brought this up in my video yesterday, how many game winners, I mean like clock runs out, hits the shot, down by 1 or tied, or down by 2 or whatever, game winners does James Harden have? I honestly can only think of like one against the Nuggets, and I feel like that was a couple years ago, and it was a layup. So I'm like, fuck, does that even count? But, yeah, and like I said yesterday, this guy has been the guy in Houston for like 7 years, and I can only think of one. Devin Booker's like, what is he, 4 years in the league? And the first year, he was barely even fucking playing, and I can already think of like 5 or 6 for him. Same thing with Luka. I can already think of a bunch, but we put him above them as far as like a clutch player, and I'm like, I don't see why. I think a lot of people have the wrong, interpretations of him, but whatever. I personally think, and I've seen that he shies away from that moment. I think that's why he'll focus on the foul. It's almost like a cop-out. It's like he doesn't have to take accountability for missing the shot if instead of actually really focusing on the shot, he tries to get fouled, and that way he can blame the ref instead of blaming himself. That's what I think all that is. And again, that's just another way of saying that he's a bitch. But whatever. Playoff struggles. Do I even need to get into it? Just in case I do, just in case people say I'm full of shit, why don't I hit the statistics? So let me just start with 20. Let's do 2013. Why not? I'm just going to read off some of these percentages from the field. Let's do 3, because that's what he likes. He likes to step back 3, right? So, last 3 games of who are they playing? This is OKC, first round. Oh, shit, okay. So, he shot 77% and 40%. I think this is pre-Mike D'Antoni, so that's actually pretty good. Those are the last 2 games of that series. 2014, 14. Oh, my God. Let me just go through all of these for 2014, because this shit is terrible. So he shot 21%, then 40, which is great. 27, shitty. 27 again, shitty. 14, shitty. 67, which is really good. But it seems like they lost that series, so I guess it wasn't good enough. All right. 20%. This is for 2015. 20%, 25%, 71%, great. 14%, terrible. 50%, really, really good. 50, 30, 57, 50, 12, 33, 29. 33, 50, 20, 63, 0. 60, 12, 28, 25, 42. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead because Jesus, this is a long-ass list. All right, let's just do the last 4. So, for 2020, it was 27%, 11%, and then against the Lakers it was 16% and 25%, and those are all from 3. Now look, if that doesn't say shitty when it matters, I don't know what does, because clearly when his team needs him, he can't hit shots. It happens every fucking time. I mean, I read a long ass list, and it's pretty consistent that when it matters the most, James Harden is nowhere to fucking be found. He's like Avatar, except he's not coming out the ice. All right, he stays in the block forever. That's what James Harden is. He is Avatar: The Last Airbender without the show. And lastly, last but not least, he refuses to make it work with his teammates. Now, the Dwight Howard situation is the first thing that comes to mind. Can I blame him for that? That's a maybe. Clearly, it didn't look like he put a whole lot of effort into trying to make it work. Again, it just kind of looked like he was bitching and pouting throughout that entire stint. But, I didn't pay that much attention to it, so I can't really say for sure. Brings me to Chris Paul. So, look. This is how I see this situation. Because the first year, they were, like I will always say, one hamstring away from a chip. But honestly, Chris Paul throughout that playoffs was the most important player. I think James Harden definitely at times was the best player. But as far as the most important, I truly believe that if James Harden had went down and not Chris Paul, I think they would have had a better chance at closing that series out. Because Chris Paul just has that relentless, I'm just going to do what my team needs me to do to win. I'll sacrifice what I need to sacrifice, put egos aside, put players in the right position, play defense, do whatever the fuck I need to do to get it done. And I don't think James Harden has that. But this is how I see it in my head, right? In my weird fucked up NBA brain. if I'm a winner, right? And I always bring it back to like the Kobe, Michael Jordan type of mentality. If I'm a winner and I'm trying to win, I want the best players around me. And there's no way that I would know and he wouldn't know, because he is really fucking smart when it comes to basketball. The guy can read plays. He knows what to do. Clearly, he's very smart. He's a pussy, but he's very smart. There's no way that you could think that Russell Westbrook on the Rockets, a team that shoots threes, Russell Westbrook, arguably one of the worst three-point shooting point guards ever, or not ever, but in recent history, is a better fit than Chris Paul. Now, I don't know what beef I think the beef started because Chris Paul called him out on that. Why are you pouting every time I run the offense bullshit? And they started arguing. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know these fucking people. I'm not in their locker room. I'm not in their head. I'm not their friend. But that's what I think started the beef. But either way, if you're a winner and you're trying to win a championship, you should know that this guy, the one who can shoot threes and doesn't do stupid shit in the playoffs every year like Russell Westbrook does, is going to give me a better shot at winning a championship because we were this fucking close last year instead of my buddy. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, before I go though, and they gave up assets to bring him on, who shoots worse, and he has a longer contract. So what the hell was the benefit? And you went out of the playoffs faster to a worse team. I mean, hell, at least the Rockets in 2018, 2019, at least they got 6 games on fucking Golden State, and now with Kevin Durant. This fucking team basically got swept by the Lakers, who people didn't even think were gonna win the championship that year. Everybody had the Clippers, but whatever. That's just me. But that's all I got for this video. Like I said, I don't want it to be too long. It's already like 16 minutes. Don't forget about the fat kid. If you have made it this far into the video, he's really trying to lose weight. So if you like the video, he'll lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever I said at the beginning. Thank you again. And I'm making videos every day. So see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.